Well, the pasta's coming for ya. The pasta's coming for ya. The pasta's coming for ya in the pantry, too. Spaghetti in strands, anchovies in cans, garlic and oil in the pan. Beans on the scene, breadcrumbs you'll need. Finish it under the flames. Fire. Tomatoes in cans, peachy by hand, garlic and oil in the pan. The pasta's coming for you and the pantry saves the day. Today we're utilizing the kitchen's secret weapon, which of course is the pantry. Because with just a few staples in the pantry, I've got everything on hand to make a perfect pasta. So today is a flavorful spaghetti puttanesca, a hand-rolled peachy for when you don't have pasta in the pantry, and a creamy white bean and shell dish that's rich yet right. We are making pantry pastas. Andiamo in cucina, facciamo tante belle paste.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
We're gonna make some spaghetti puttanesca. It's incredibly flavorful, and it uses exclusively ingredients from the pantry. I can make this without going to the store and having anything fresh, and I love that. Now, normally, I'm all about making the pasta water have the salinity of like a really well-seasoned soup. But with this dish, you wanna go slightly under. We don't wanna overwhelm it. Don't break your spaghetti, you won't be able to twirl it. If it doesn't fit in, all you have to do is just push it down. We're gonna start with capers. These are like little briny floral berries. I'm gonna start with them naked in the pan to try to dehydrate them a little bit so that I prevent the splattering that happens with the olive oil. We're gonna get some garlic going. I just do like a baby mash like this. And then what I like to do is kind of take both ends off of all of them. And then you can pick them up and just kind of do that, and the skin will come right off. So if this looks like a lot of garlic, it is. But one of the things with this dish is that it really should be pungent in aroma. Once our capers have started to look a bit dry, we can come in with oil. I'm gonna throw the garlic in. And now we're gonna throw in anchovies. It's this combination of capers, anchovies, and olives that give you all these different varieties of salt that make this so good. You wanna be crazy? Put the oil in too. Lowering the pan temperature a little bit here to save our garlic by adding water. So with a spoon, just kind of like break up your anchovies. They sort of melt. Puttanesca means essentially somebody that works in a brothel. And so legend has it that the people working in these brothels would lure customers in by the pungent aroma of this dish. If you're gonna alter or omit ingredients in this recipe, it should still be pungent. If it isn't pungent, it's no longer puttanesca. So here we come in with crushed tomatoes. I'm gonna get a little bit of pasta water, swirl it around, and just try to get every bit of tomato in there. And we're gonna add some olives. Black olives, brown olives, Kalamata olives, just as long as they're pitted. Some of you may have noticed that I haven't salted anything here. Again, that is by default. Anchovies are salty, capers are salty, and the olives are salty. And in the pasta water, we added very little salt because of this overwhelming saline situation. So the pasta's al dente, really nice, maybe even slightly undercooked. And at this point, I am just gonna go straight in the sauce and let it finish cooking here. Beautiful. So I'm killing the heat. We wanna make it a little spicy, so we can go to the package drawer, grab some red pepper flakes, throw those on here. We are gonna twirl it into a ladle, like that. Come on, baby, twist for me. You know what? It's true, the anchovies have completely disappeared. I smell the brininess of olives mixed with a delicious smelling tomato sauce. It's only $1.41 a serving. I can't wait to dig in. I'm gonna come in with my fork, and I'm also gonna come in with my spoon because that's tradition in the south of Italy. In the north, it's frowned upon, but this is a southern dish. Flavor-wise, it's not overly salty at all. It's just this interplay of subtle, natural salts that make this taste delicious. It comes together as quickly as it takes the pasta to cook. I mean, that category is elite status for me. It's that caper, olive, tomato combination that just makes this fantastic. This is a classic. But if you think for even 1 second this is the only pantry pasta you can make, you're wrong. I got more. Stay tuned. Welcome to the wonderful world of pasta shapes. There's more than 600 kinds out there, so you can be sure there's always one to get the job done. We've got our long pastas. These are some of the oldest shapes because they were easy to make by hand. Spaghetti, linguine, angel hair, bucatini. Long pastas are great with rustic sauces. Don't you dare cut or break the pasta. We've got to be able to twirl it. Then we've got our short pastas. They come in many shapes and sizes with ridges and crevices. They really grab onto the sauce great. You've got your tubular pastas. Rigatoni, penne, ziti, conchiglie. All of these are excellent for hearty sauces with chunks of meat or vegetable. Then we've got our spiralized pastas. Fusilli, gemelli, cavatappi, and they capture even more sauce still. And then you got the tiny pastas. Ditalini, shells, orzo, farfalline. These are perfect for stews and soups and salads. And then there's all kinds of other fun shapes. Farfalle, butterflies, orecchiette, little ears, ruote, wheels. These can be used for pretty much anything. Kids love them. I think they work well with pestos. And you should have them just when you're feeling like having a little fun. Pasta is my favorite food. It's all the variety of shapes that make it so fantastic, because variety is the spice of life. And that's a spice I keep in my pantry. What if you reach into the pantry because you want to make a pasta, but then you find out that you've got a problem? There's no pasta in there. Can we still make a pantry pasta? Of course we can. We just have to make pasta with items from the pantry. So we're gonna make peachy, which is like a fat and irregular diameter shaped long rope-like pasta. It's super rustic and it's delicious. We're gonna go with 2 cups of flour here, all purpose. Do the Grandma Well method, where we just make a little circle in the center. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Here's a cup of water going in. And hit it with a little bit of salt too. And the Struggle Whisk 7500. If we can just sort of get it into a globby paste in the bowl, then when we put it out on the counter, we have a lot less cleanup to do. That is looking pretty good. I'm just gonna flour the work surface a tiny bit. So I'm just gonna have like extra flour on the side here. And I'm just gonna flatten it, turn it, and roll it. You can put it right through the flour like that. A great way of telling is if like it's extra sticky to your hands, then it's probably too wet. So you can just kind of dip it into the flour again. Nothing should be sticking to my hand when I do that here. I'm gonna fold it up, pull it, because I need to create gluten so that these pastas don't disintegrate in the water. Flip it on top, and then I kind of like rotate it and do it again. Pushing it down and stretching it. It's called kneading. The goal is to get this thing to hold the shape of the ball as much as possible. You see how it's springing back when I put my finger on it? I want to get to the point where it doesn't spring back. So that's why we're gonna let this dough rest for about an hour. In the fridge, 1 hour. So it's nice and relaxed. It's like, you know, me after a 90-minute Swedish massage. We're gonna pull off a little piece of dough here. It's like the size of a golf ball if a golf ball were a disc. And then the first thing we're gonna do is roll it in our hands like this so that we get a little chub. Without putting any flour, we're just gonna go back and forth with our hand and try to get a rope shape here. You wanna push that dough out. And you can also take them and sort of like twist them and stretch in your hands a little bit, just making sure you don't break it. Then you can give it a little roll in the flour to sort of stop it off. There is one piccio. This is not a quick pantry pasta. The more hands you can get to help, the faster your dinner will be on the table. And because they don't have to be perfect, literally anyone can do it. And remember, the perfection here is the imperfection. Here's the whole situation. You wanna make pasta. You already didn't have pasta in the pantry. What are you gonna do if you wanna make a sauce and you don't have sauce in the pantry? We can make sauces out of pantry items also. We are gonna take 2 cloves of garlic and just smash them. Garlic I consider a pantry ingredient because it lasts a really long time. Some oil in the pan. We want this garlic to do something. Some package raw red pepper flakes. I also like to hit it with a little bit of salt in this early stage. Here, our indicator are the red pepper flakes. As they start to darken, we know that things are getting spicy. We can lower the heat a little bit, and let's add in some tomato paste. Tomato paste is a great alternative for a can of tomatoes if you don't have it. Just try to break it up and get it to awaken. So after about 2 minutes, you can see this color has darkened quite a bit. Here's where the magic happens. We're gonna come in with some of our water from the pasta. You see how this is turning into a sauce right here? But I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar here just to balance out the tomato paste. All right, let's get our pasta in. So I think the best strategy is to pinch from the middle here and lower in. Any pasta that hasn't been like mechanically dried is gonna cook really, really quickly. Look at your sauce. Say to yourself, is this too thick? If it is, take a little more pasta water. At this point, it's been seasoned from the Peachy, which is great. So these have been at the top for about 25 seconds. I want them to finish in our sauce. Look at that. You can see it's quite thick, right? Let's stretch our sauce out even more. Here comes a ladleful. Look at this gorgeous velvety sheen we've got happening here. We'll hit this with some really nice oregano buds at this point. I'm gonna kill the heat. Here we go. A little more oregano. How good does this look? You can tell that it's rustic. It's like flat, it's fat, it's skinny, it's all over the place. This is 30 cents a serving. Find me a better deal anywhere. I'll wait. Let's see how this tastes. It's bouncy and springy and al dente all at the same time. First thing that hits you is the sugar, and then the oregano, and then the spice. It's like boom, boom, boom. And then the next thing is your brain says, put more in me immediately. It blows my mind every time how much tomato paste can extrapolate out into something that fully coats pasta like this. Look at that. That's crazy. So the number one thing with this dish right here, up front, is the texture. It's the chewiness of this noodle. And that's why it needs to be paired with a super robust sauce. So it's a match made in heaven. And especially at this price point, you just can't beat it. It's a total winner. There's more pasta where that came from. But next, we've got a challenge. I don't think you want to miss this one. It's time for a struggle challenge. Let's see what problem we can try to solve today. My fridge is getting out of control. I saved my leftovers telling myself I'll eat them tomorrow, but now it's been almost a week and I have a bunch of leftovers and I don't know what to make. Help! Let's see what you got. All right, looks like we got some sausage, various cheeses, cherry tomatoes, pasta, boiled eggs, pasta, hamburgers, sausage, hamburger, eggs, pasta. Breaking that down, what is it? It's meat and pasta with eggs and raw eggs and pantry items, crumbs of bread and flour. There is only one solution to using all of this up at once. Timpano. Essentially, we make a giant drum of pasta and fill it with our leftovers. Is it easy? No, it might take a little while. Is there a possibility for failure? Absolutely. But if it works, it could be the highest scoring struggle challenge ever. There's much work to be done. Must get started. We need to roll out a giant sheet of pasta. Make a little centerpiece here like this. Crack some eggs into it. So as I'm mixing this around, now I'm like deliberately trying to grab the outside here with the flour and bring more in. Just circulate this all around. We'll just knock a bunch of flour in now. You want to have this wetness become more and more gooey as you go until it really starts to have height. And then at this point, you kind of have to just go for it. It's gonna be extremely soft at first. Once it becomes a single entity like this, we're gonna start to try to knead it a little bit. We're not gonna try to add too much more flour here. Once it starts becoming difficult to work the dough, and it's really fighting back against you, that's when you form the gluten. That's when it's ready to take a rest in the refrigerator spa. We're gonna try to roll this out into a giant circle that will fit perfectly into a Dutch oven. Just trying to get flour all over the baby's bottom here. Spreading it out like I'm making a pizza pie. I'm just stretching it all out. Now I'm gonna go from the center out and rotate. Center out, rotate. Just keep working the middle stuff outward. I'm actually gonna stretch it like a pizza dough a little bit here. Not my finest work, but that's okay. We're going rustic. It's gonna be fine. Here we go. We've got a vessel here. I'm gonna oil the inside and oil the sides. So this pasta is not gonna get boiled in water. It is gonna cook with the moisture of our leftovers and the moisture from within itself. It's gonna become croccante, right? It's gonna be crunchy. Here we go. The timpano. What is timpano? Well, it's the timpani drum, the big drum. Let it all kind of sag in as best we can. Now you want excess hanging over because that's how we're gonna close it up on top. Let's start with some sauce on the bottom, which is gonna be the top because this is gonna get inverted. Some hamburger meat, just break it up. Let's go with a layer of spaghetti. Let's go with some eggs next. The reason we want beautiful layers here is because it's going to reveal when we cut into it the fossil record of your leftovers. We can put some sausage with this layer too. Try to bring the height up to normal. Some of these penne now. We'll add some more sauce. This is actually a lot of fun. I'm gonna use a little breadcrumb here. Just try to make sure that that sauce doesn't leach too much liquid by counteracting it with breadcrumb. Big block parm. More hamburger meat. Breaking it up. More penne coming around. We got a sausage. This one we're gonna do a little bit bigger. We got a little more sauce here. What about this spaghetti? Finish it with a little more sauce. And let's hit it with this cheese to finish it up. Now, we fold it. I feel pretty good about this. I've got all the leftovers encased in a less than perfect pasta dough, but I'm not like too worried about it at all. It's gonna get crispy, it's gonna get crunchy, it's gonna hold this all together. Let's stick it in the oven and see what happens. So let's see if we have done right by your leftovers and try to invert this giant drum. The moment of truth. Definitely solidified. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go straight down. Yep, this feels like it's gonna stay together, so that's good. I don't even care if it's not good. It looks so awesome. It's a 10. This is a 10 on presentation, for sure. It just looks awesome. So we'll do a little, oh, this is hard to eat. This is all falling apart now. It's totally delicious. I mean, I just ate into like a fennel spiced sausage from Wednesday, and pasta from any day of the week makes me happy. It's a 10 on flavor. It's a perfect score. Challenge crushed. So this was a really fun way to use up leftovers, particularly if you've got several types of leftovers. Thanks so much for this challenge. Together, we will eat all of the food that we make and get through everything that we buy in the fridge, and that's gonna save us money. And that's what's so fun about the Struggle Challenge. Thanks for watching. Are you looking for a mac and cheese-like experience without cheese or milk? Well, get ready, because we've got it for you right now. Creamy white beans and shells. Yet another fully pantry supplied pasta. We start with a short pasta. I'm gonna use the shells here. Penne would work, orecchiette would work, ziti would work. Let's get some salt in our water, and we'll just go right in with our pasta. Number one way to make sure the pasta doesn't stick to itself, give it a good swirl right initially when it gets in there. Let's cut up an onion. I'm not too fussy, just gonna do a quick dice here. I've always thought of onions and garlic as pantry items, and they're a staple that you should always have. Oil of olive. Get some onion going. Hitting it with salt, hitting it with some pepper. Beans. Classic pantry staple, full of protein, endlessly versatile. These are cannellini. Pasta water right into our beans to help soften the beans. Our beans look really happy in their jacuzzi here with the onions. Now it's time to use the Struggle Masher Deluxe. Mash half of these beans here to create a creamy texture while still preserving some beans whole. We've got a lemon here. I kind of treat this as a pantry item. Lemons last a while. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. You could hit it with a little vinegar, maybe some balsamic. I'm gonna use some artichoke hearts. They're delicious. Could be hearts of palm, peppers, could be olives. Whole point of this is that you use something in a can that's relatively soft. Some package or red pepper flakes. And at this point, I'm feeling like my pasta's done, so I'm gonna throw the pasta in also. Just pulling a little bit of the bottom up to the top, something like that. We're gonna add one more ingredient so that we can get some complexity, and that is the preserved lemon. This is shelf stable. This adds a ton of flavor. If you wanna have lemons in your pantry and not worry about them going bad, stock up with preserved lemons. It's a great way to get an acidic flavor that's different. So far, we've only seasoned at the onion stage, and that's, on purpose, because I wanna see where we're at. I do not expect this to be perfect, but it kind of is perfect. It doesn't need any salt. I'll give it a little pepper, just for fun. Stopping here, totally okay. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take it to the next level. We got a baking tray right here. So let's put a third of the pasta. It's very heavy. I don't have the arm strength for this. Give it a little jiggle, look at it, say, hey, is this creamy enough? I'm not quite sure. Add a little water to this guy here. You can even add a little bit here. All right, here we go. We've got our lemon zest from before. Let's put some breadcrumbs in there, any kind. Let's hit it with a little bit of salt, pepper. Let's get some olive oil in there, a fair bit, because this is what's gonna make this crunchy. Right on top. I'm banging it on the table a little just to make sure it's all settled and flat, because now we're gonna put it in the oven and hit it with the broiler. This goes from perfect to ruined very quickly. Have a watchful eye. That looks great. We got a nice, crispy, crunchy topping. It looks like a mac and cheese, but it's void of the cheese. Creamy white beans and shells. This is $1.06 a plate. You gotta love it. Let's see what it tastes like. For me, everything is all about balance, and this dish is doing it 2 ways, which I think are super duper cool. We've got the softness of the pasta and the beans, creaminess, that's balanced out by the crispiness of the breadcrumbs. And then we've got the creaminess of the beans that are being totally balanced out by the opposite end of the spectrum, the lemons and the preserved lemons, which makes it really complex. And I like that. The Pantry came to the rescue one more time, and using slightly different techniques, we've got a totally different outcome. Creamy with a bit of crunch. I love it, and you can certainly make it your own. You know, when the fridge is bare, the pantry is your secret weapon for flavor, convenience, and savings. With a little bit of creativity and some idea of where you want to end up, you can absolutely make a fantastic pantry pasta with shelf-stable ingredients. That's what we proved today. I rest my case. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I answer your questions. I have a quandary. I have pasta sauce I've canned. No pasta other than lasagna. I do not have enough cheese for a typical lasagna build. It's fully dried pasta, so no option to trim it into strips. Any idea? All right, so you've got lasagna strips dried in squares. And I think the answer to your question is to think outside the box. Take those lasagna sheets, break them into random pieces by hand. This is not a crazy thing. This is an actual pasta shape called poorly cut, mal tagliati. That's what you're gonna have, mal tagliati with pomodoro. And if you don't like that, well, you could always go into the pantry and make some fresh pasta by hand. That's delicious too. How much time you got?